Hey guys, it's Nate, and I just wanted to do a quick touch-base review on Editor Keys keyboard cover for the iPad Pro to use with LumaFusion. Editor Keys makes a variety of custom keyboards and keyboard covers, as well as some audio gear specifically tailored for someone who does a lot of photo, audio, and video production. They make actual keyboards as well as keyboard covers for a variety of programs, including LumaFusion and Adobe Premiere, Adobe Lightroom, and Photoshop, Audacity, Final Cut Pro. You take your pick. Go check it out. Their website's down below. They make a ton of stuff. I mean, they really do. They make some really cool stuff at that, including microphones, which I had no idea that they even did. But check them out. They're pretty slick. This is a soft keyboard cover. It's a soft rubbery material that you can lay over the Smart Keyboard Folio keyboard for the iPad Pro, and this one in particular is for the 12.9 inch. That gives you a color-coded keyboard cover, keyboard layout that helps you to identify keyboard shortcuts for, in this case, LumaFusion. So if you do a lot of editing and you do a lot of work that requires you to put a lot of time behind the keyboard for something like Photoshop or Lightroom or LumaFusion, and you don't want to have to memorize a ton of keyboard shortcuts, especially amongst multiple programs, this is an awesome tool. And with the keyboard covers, if I do a lot of work in Photoshop and then I have to switch off to After Effects or Lightroom or Adobe Premiere Pro, then I can change my keyboard cover to match so that I see the material relevant to what I'm working on. So I'm just going to show you a couple of really cool little facets of this keyboard, and then of course, this is a great opportunity for you to check out LumaFusion as well as Editor's Keys keyboards and keyboard covers through their website. So let's get started. All right, so let's dive in and take a quick look at the LumaFusion app using the Editor's Keys keyboard cover so that we have a little more efficiency in our work. So obviously we're going to open up LumaFusion, and I'm going to go ahead and pick a project here. We're going to work on this one here, which is some B-roll. I call it A-roll in this case, just so that I know for sure which one we're looking for. All right, so let's dive in. And obviously, just like with any other app on an iPad, if you're using a physical keyboard, you can actually access a shortcut list within the app by pressing and holding Command on your keyboard. And as you can see here, we have a list of a couple of different, pretty much take that back, all the shortcuts in LumaFusion, and there's actually 2 screens of it. So there's a lot of shortcuts in this app. To make it more efficient, obviously if I needed to find a shortcut, I could just stop what I'm doing and hold Command, get my shortcut list, and go from there. Or if I'm using the Editor's Keys keyboard cover, I can make it easier on myself by giving myself visual access to that knowledge at all times. So here we are. Here is the keyboard cover for LumaFusion. And as we look at it, we can see there's a lot of easy color references to utilize. So because each key can double and do multiple shortcuts, each key has been labeled color-wise to help you mix and match. So obviously, if I'm going to use the D key, then when I'm using it with the Option command, it's going to give me one choice, one shortcut, but if I'm using it with Command, it's going to give me duplicate. So it gives you multiple uses depending on if you're using it as Command D, Option D. If I'm doing my forward frame, back frame, if I'm with the left and right arrow, it's just using the arrow key is going to move me one frame at a time. But if I do it in combination with Shift, it's going to move me 10 frames at a time in whichever direction I select. So let's go ahead and jump to the beginning of our project. We're going to hit A. Takes us to the beginning of our project, and I actually want to insert onto this first clip an overlay title. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Y. It's going to give me my title, overlay title creation screen. We're going to go into it, and I'm going to edit the text. So we'll edit this to say, all right. So at this point, I could go through and I could make any changes, change the font. And I could go and change the size. And so we're just going to leave it at that point. We're not going to do any real finesse here. We just want to kind of get a good feel for what this gives us. So let's take a look. That title we just created. Fantastic. All right. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to add a transition. So I'm going to select my clip, hit T for transition, and right off the bat, there we are. It's automatically going to give me a cross dissolve transition between these two clips. So the last thing I want to do as an example here is I want to add some color and effect to this particular clip. This clip looks great. It's slow motion, putting on the nitrite gloves. All right, getting ready to do some phone fixing, but awful dull in of itself. So we're going to add some color and effects. So with the clip selected, I hit 5 and boom, saved me a couple extra clicks and taps, and here we are. Now I'm going to take a look at the clip we've already got, and we're going to add some noir effects. So how's that look? Cool, we'll go with that. So that's it. That's the benefit of the keyboard cover for the iPad Pro that is made by Editor's Keys. This is for LumaFusion, and there's a bunch of other resources on here, and there's a bunch of other shortcuts that we didn't really dive into, but you get the hint, you get the point. It's a fantastic tool. It's a fantastic resource if you're behind the keyboard a lot, especially with an iPad. It makes this entire device very much 100% keyboard and mouse friendly. Over here we're using my Logitech Bluetooth mouse. And we have, if you've noticed throughout this entire presentation, we've been hands on the keyboard and the mouse. We've not touched the screen once. So as a convenience feature, it's great. And if you're somebody who loves to just be on the screen or to use the Apple Pencil to do your editing, that's fine too. This is just another way to utilize it. And in this particular setup on the desk, I just find this much more convenient. So fantastic product from Editor's Keys. These are less than 40 bucks. They're great value if you're doing a lot of work with a lot of different applications. I highly suggest taking a look at their other product lines and their other offerings to fit the software that you prefer to use. But yeah, definitely get out there, edit some video, edit some photos, have some fun, and shortcut it up. See ya.